Alrighty. So episode 2 is heating up. Greetings, royal family. Welcome back to the channel. All right. So we're on episode 2 of VH1's Couples Retreat. This episode is titled Ring of Fire. Okay. Now, when the episode opens up, they're still on day 1. There's still day 1 when this second episode, begins. And AJ Johnson, she's the life coach, counselor, and she's already pissed somebody off. Okay, Ray J, he is frustrated. Basically, same old, because Princess is not being honest. Now, this is according to Ray J. Now, Princess is claiming, right, that she found out about Ray J filing for divorce via social media. Girl, please. Now, remember when Princess was mad at Ray J in Vegas when she was pregnant with their second child, and she went on social media and told IG that she was done with Ray J and that she's filing for divorce? So you're claiming that you found out that Ray J filed for divorce and you're mad about what? I'm confused, because remember, Princess filed for divorce, took it off the table, and now at the time of this taping of the show, Ray J has filed for divorce. Whatever. Anyway, I'm not even going down that road. With them. Anyway, so Ray J, he's walked off and Princess is crying. And of course, AJ is consoling her. And Ray J is just pissed off because he said she always does that. She always makes him out to be the bad guy, and he does not basically call her out on it or whatever. Anyway, meanwhile, Mendices is asking Rada, who is Michael Blackston's girlfriend. Mendices is over there interviewing Rada, like a Q&A session type deal about the rules of her open relationship with Michael Blackston. Anytime the word side chick comes up or, open relationship, I noticed that Mendices, he kind of perks up a little bit. Like, he gets a little excited. And he asked Yandy in the confessional, what does she think about that? And you already know how Yandy comes across as she's conservative. She's not having that. Anyway, we move on to day 2. And you see Ramon. I want to say Raymond. Is it Raymond, right? Raymond and Mendices. Okay. Raymond is in a relationship. He's married to Delicious. And Mendices is married, quote unquote, whatever, to Yandy, right? So Mendices, he's discussing his time, while he was incarcerated and how he's been adjusting to society. And of course, Raymond can relate. I like seeing this exchange between these two men because they seem very comfortable expressing themselves, which is difficult for some people. You know what I mean? Like, Mendices is very vocal. At first, he came across quiet, like we were introduced to him on Love and Hip Hop, to me anyway. But he's very articulate. He knows exactly how he feels, and he knows how to express himself. I like that. Anyway, Mendices said that, while he was locked up, that he was getting a lot of mail, but not from Yandy. Now, we've heard this before. We've heard this play out on Love and Hip Hop. When Mendices was locked up, his gripe was that Yandy wasn't communicating with him enough. And he also mentioned how he started to resent Yandy because he saw her posting a lot on social media. Interesting. But he's being honest though. And he knows how to express himself, and he can identify with his feelings. So he mentioned, letting his guard down and allowing Yandy to kind of teach him things after his release. And Raymond said the same thing. Like, Delicious helped him reacclimate to society, right? So Delicious and Yandy are also having a discussion, and they talked about being married, to someone who was incarcerated. And it was good to see them, share experiences and be social with one another. Now, Ray J and AJ. Remember, AJ Johnson is Jody's mama. No, I'm kidding. That she's an actress, and she is now a life coach. Okay, so she wants to have a sit down with Ray J one-on-one. Now, the setting seemed a little eerie. There were tiki torches everywhere. It was sand. It just seemed a little weird, right? So when Ray J sits down with AJ, he said, "What's this? Some type of ritual?" And then I paused and said to myself, "Yeah, I bet you know a thing or two about a ritual, huh, Ray J?" Rest in peace, Nippy. Ray J attempts to talk to AJ about Princess, and he says that, that Princess is sabotaging him. And AJ asks Ray then why are you with her? At this point, Ray J stands up. I mean, that's the $1 million question, AJ, right? Like, I've been asking that same damn question since last year. Anywho, Ray J stands up and says, "You answer my question." And AJ tells him, to sit down. Now, remember, Ray J's an actor. I told y'all, Ray J is reality TV gold. He knows how to put on. He's very theatrical and dramatic. So Ray says, there's nothing else to talk about. AJ tells him that, he needs to stop walking away because that's childish. Ray J said that he feels like he's talking to Princess. Now, AJ asked him if he doesn't like, is it that you don't like the truth? Now, at this point, you can see that Ray shut down and he takes out his phone. And it's so funny because Princess knows these very same actions and she pointed them out later on in the show. She said, when Ray J, he probably shut down. I could tell you everything that went down. AJ said something that he didn't like. He shut down. He takes out his phone. He walks off and says something disrespectful. Yeah, it kind of went that way. So now as he's taking out his phone, AJ is saying, "Oh, so you're going to be disrespectful now and go on your phone?" Now, in her confessional, she declares that she is not going to let Ray J treat her like Princess. But she's excited that she gets to see firsthand what Princess has been complaining about. This is what she said. AJ, she's still going off, and Ray J passive aggressively tells her this conversation is over. And she's still engaging, like she's still going off. Like you would think that AJ and Ray J were in a relationship together. And I feel like AJ fell for Ray's manipulation tactic and she lost her cool, right? He who angers you controls you, right? That's a quote that I often keep in my frontal lobe. And I have found myself saying and seeing this over and over again. And that is, people associate. I've been saying this since last month. People associate being nasty, rude, loud, aggressive, etc. with keeping it real. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that's going on. It's an energy that people are just rah, and then I'm keeping it real, I don't know. This is even though this is one incident that, transpired between Ray and AJ, but this leads me to believe that AJ already took sides concerning Ray J and Princess, in my opinion. This is based on my observation. And she had no real plan set in place prior to sitting down with Ray J. That's the way it came across. Because my whole thing is, if you are privy to Ray J's behavior, what Ray J does, you've assessed these people. Maybe she just went head in. I don't know. Like, just went into this whole situation blind. But I would think, being a life coach, you would kind of study your subjects or your clients or whatever. You should have known exactly what Ray J was doing when he shut down. He told you that he told AJ, I'm feeling attacked. I'm feeling like I'm talking to Princess. And when he said that, instead of getting offended, Miss AJ, you should have tried to listen to what he was saying, because to me, based on what they show, because we know how editing works, based on what was shown in the episode, it seems like you were in a relationship with him and he offended you and you were trying to get at him. You came for his neck. So I don't know. I just find it very interesting that you let him you fell for his manipulation tactic. Like, he does it all the time. This is not the first time that he's done this on any show. I'm aware of it. So I don't know. I wonder if there's a backstory with AJ Johnson and possibly maybe the Norwood family. I don't know, because I remember first episode, Ray J wasn't excited, when he saw her on episode 1. So what's the deal with that? I don't know. Anyway, Ray J asked to be excused. He's going to be ultra polite, but he's really being passive aggressive. He has to be excused. And as he is walking away, AJ is still, like yelling her comments toward him. She said, "Oh, so you're just going to run away?" And while Ray J is walking, he said, "No, actually, I'm walking away." Being a smart ass or whatever. So I don't know. I ain't really feeling AJ. I don't know. I get what people are saying about Ray J. Oh, he's immature. He needs to grow up. But yelling at him and talking to him like you his nagging wife or his mama, what makes you think that that is going to make anybody want to listen to you? He immediately shut down. He said, I feel like I'm talking to Princess. And then you just kept going at him. I don't know. I was turned off by that. I was just like, what's wrong with her? Like, relax, sis. Like, you going at him like you was in the relationship with him. I don't know. Anyway, so the other couples, they came into the area because it was just Ray J and AJ. So the other couples, they start coming in and they start seating themselves. And Delicious thought it was some sort of elimination / seance because of the tiki torches. And I thought that was funny. And as the couples, get seated, AJ, which I thought this was, I guess she has to do it, you know what I'm saying? Because she's keeping everything transparent because this is a group exercise. So the couples are seated and AJ brings up the meeting that she had with Ray J. And she said that it got ugly and that Ray J screamed at her. Now, she could very well be telling the truth, okay? Because, again, we know how editing goes. But what was shown on the episode doesn't match what she said took place. So, I don't know. Yelling, we didn't see yelling. But maybe there's a deleted scene. I don't know. She was yelling, too. So, you both were engaging. Both of you were wrong if you're going to say somebody was wrong, in my opinion. Anywho, Princess believes, what AJ is saying because she's married to the guy. She knows what he gives. So anyway, AJ asks if anyone wants to leave because, AJ's pissed off now. So she's just on some type of, if you don't want to be here, you ain't got to be here, which is that's passive aggressive as well. You were invited to help these couples. So there's nobody that doesn't want to be there besides Ray J and Princess. I don't know, AJ. That's strike one for me. Anyway, so she asked if anybody wants to leave, and Princess says that she wants to leave because it doesn't make any sense her participating in these activities, and Ray J is MIA. He's gone. So the exercises begin. So Kurt and Rashida, they're sitting face to face. The tiki torches are burning in the background, and AJ is asking them, what's the issue in their marriage. So Kurt, he doesn't want to talk about having a child while he was married. That whole thing played out on Love and Hip Hop. And he said because that played out on national television, that's his reasoning. And he says that also that they were separated at the time that he was dealing with the girl who had a baby. Now, they were saying that story was fake. Is it fake? It probably is. Who cares? Whatever. It is what it is. Now, they weren't intimate. Rashida said because she was suffering from postpartum. She said she didn't understand what was going on with her. And Kurt was complaining that, he would try to engage, massage her shoulders, and she would just turn around and be like, okay, kind of like make it quick. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing romantic about that. So their love life is suffering because of that. They know all of the issues that they have with each other. They've worked through a lot. They just need a plan. And Rashida said something. Rashida said, because Kurt was saying, like, I don't know what to tell you, what plan to put in motion to fix this. I don't know. And Rashida said something with a quick comeback. She said, if we could sit down and write out a business plan and how we're going to create and run a business, we damn sure could sit down and write a plan for our marriage. And I agree with her 1,000%. Moving on to Yandy and Mendices. Now, Michael Blackston, really quick. Michael Blackston considers himself polyamorous, right? I don't. I think that he's a dude that just wants to screw a whole bunch of women. He says he feels that Rada faked like she was accepting of his polyamorous lifestyle. And once they got into a relationship, she tried to change things around. Her thing is she doesn't mind having an open relationship. I think she's lying, but she just wants to approve of the women who are coming into their bedroom. And she also gives him a pass when he's on the road, but she needs to know who it is. It's a bunch of foolishness. I believe Michael Blackston. I feel like she kind of went along to get along, and now that they're in a relationship, she wants to lock it all up and lock it all down. I don't think that she is interested in having an open relationship, and I don't believe that Michael Blackston is a true polyamorous. Is that the correct term? I think that he just wants to get a whole bunch of rounds, probably because he has money now, and he probably wasn't getting a whole bunch of rounds back in the day prior to him getting money, and he's famous now. He got money, and now people are throwing it at him, and he's catching it. Bow, bow, bow. Every turn you turn. So that's my opinion as far as that couple. Anyway, moving on to Yandy. Woo, woo. Yandy and Mendices, baby. When I tell you that this came as no surprise, none of it is. I've seen it before, heard it before. Yandy said that she felt locked up along with Mendices, and she said that she talked to him every day, and Mendices says, "Nope, no, you didn't. You're lying. I had a whole, he said he had a whole bunch of letters come in, whole bunch of emails, and you wasn't emailing me every day." Now, Yandy feels that she ain't have time to write emails and letters because, she was raising kids, running 5 companies, her words, not mine, and making sure the bills were paid. So this is the same thing we saw on Love and Hip Hop. Yandy loves that badge, right? I was holding it down. I was taking care of kids, taking care of companies, paying the bills. She loves that badge. Good for you, Yandy. Now, Mendices admitted to holding resentment toward Yandy. He said he also felt that the moment that his bid, this is very interesting, the moment that his bid was done, that Yandy would be blowing up his phone every 5 seconds. Red flag, ladies and gentlemen, red flag. Red flag. And Yandy didn't even acknowledge that. Again, I can only critique what's shown. They might have cut it out. That flew over her head. But I paused the television. I said, see, Mendices is a man. He knows what he wants. He knows how to articulate himself. And I do like that. Now, Yandy mentioned that Mendices told her many times that she did not have to, quote, do this. Meaning she didn't have to do this bid with him or hold him down, while he was locked up. And he said he was giving Yandy a way out. He told her this, right? Translation. This is my translation. I don't want you doing this because I don't want to be indebted to you. That is what I heard. That's what I got from this. And when people do that, when people tell you, oh, woe is me, or they'll tell you something is wrong or issue, they won't come out and ask you for help. You'll just be, some people get manipulated into helping, right? And then when they do help, well, the person who's on the receiving end of the help, well, I didn't ask them to help me. You see, but they do this whole manipulation thing. I'm not saying that's what Mendices is doing, because Mendices said, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. And Yandy admitted that he said that to her. Yandy said that, Yandy also said that, he used to tell me, you can move on with your life. And Yandy said that was very hurtful and that was very offensive, etc., etc. Mendices also said, if I can deal with my mom leaving me, then I can deal with anybody leaving me. Now, Yandy ain't hearing this man, and it's really sad. She's not listening. Not that she's not listening. She doesn't want to accept what he's saying. She always defaults to this, I did a damn good job. I held it down. I was taking care of this, making sure of that. She always defaults to that when it comes to this situation, when this topic comes up. And you know what his rebuttal to that could be? Like I said, I didn't ask you to, because he said he was giving her a way out. Anyway, after all that, right? After all of that just transpired, them going back and forth, Yandy asked the dumbest question, in my opinion. She said, if the roles were reversed, would you hold me down? She said when he was locked up, a lot of people were saying to her, see, this is the problem. A lot of people were saying to her, you doing all of this, Yandy, would he do the same for you? And Yandy's reply to them was, of course he would. Bingo. You knew he wouldn't, sis. But you had to prove to everybody that you was holding him down because you know he would do the same for you. Again, trying to impress people, trying to do what people think is impossible. Poor Yandy. Yandy knows that Mendices wouldn't. She knows that he wouldn't have held her down. She already knows this. She feels that, he owes her. That's how she treats him. She feels that he owes her because of the work that she put in. And I'm going to go on record and say that Yandy is selfish. I am. I'm looking at this from a totally different light because I've seen things like this play out in real life. I've seen this stuff play out in real life. And I'm not saying that Mendici shouldn't show Yandy any respect because, yes, she didn't have to do it. She chose to do it. And because she chose to do it, you should respect her for that. However, comma, Yandy, just because you chose to hold him down, he didn't ask you to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, are you doing this? Did you hold him down with the intention of getting his loyalty? I don't know. Like, people do some weird stuff like that. Like, they very seldom do they do things because they want to. They do it because they like, well, if I do this, well, we got kids together. Well, I was there for him when nobody else was. Well, I gave him this. I gave him that. So you owe me. Like, that's the attitude. And I think that's very, very dangerous. So Mendici said, if the shoe was on the other foot, I don't know what I would be able to do. See, everybody's getting their panties in a bunch. He said, I don't know what I would be able to do. And I think I'm going to tell you why I think that was a smart answer. Because God forbid that Yandy faces any jail time. God forbid, right? And he said, yes, I would hold you down on national television. Like, or if he said, of course I will hold you down. Of course. He would be held to his word. And he gave an honest answer. He says, I don't know what I would be able to do. And that's an honest answer. I would have respected that more than you saying yes just to make us look good or make yourself look good. But that's the problem. Yandy wanted him to say yes, of course, because she wanted him to make her look good. Because again, people were in her ear. Would he do the same for you? And she said, yes, speaking for him. Yes, he would. So that was his cue to basically confirm everything that she was going around telling people. Stop worrying about what other people think. And stop doing stuff to save face. Do I think that Mendici loves Yandy? Absolutely. Do I think that Yandy loves Mendici? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I do think that Yandy, man, you gotta come back down to reality, honey. I just feel like I don't think that there's anything wrong with his answer. He says, I don't know what I would be able to do. And some people were saying he should have lied. Nah. Mendici is not a fool. He's street smart. He's not a fool. He ain't getting himself caught up. So I feel like Yandy knew this prior to, playing head baby mother in charge. Remember all of that foolishness that went on with Mendici's exes? Also, I don't think that Mendici led her to believe anything other than what he said to her face. Otherwise, Yandy would have called him out about it. She never said, well, you told me this, you told me that. I think that he's kept it real with her as far as that's concerned since day one. And I guess she was hoping that because they were in front of people and they were on TV, that his answer would change. Mendici doesn't strike me as the type that's fake, phony, or a flip-flopper. And again, he has some abandonment issues. He talked about that before, about his mom abandoning him. Yandy, I'm sure she has her own personal issues. I feel the two of them can work together, and if they want to. They both have to want it, though. Not to make themselves look good. Not you owe me because I did this ball and chain type deal, but because both of them want to. And I feel like Yandy knew what Mendici was into when they first started dating, so she knew that there was a possibility that he would go away, if you know what I mean. And Miss Yandy, don't try to make us think that he's never answered this question before, because I'm pretty sure he has, okay? And I'm not saying that Mendici is right or wrong. I'm just saying I think that Yandy got exactly what she wanted. You fought for this, sis, remember? Remember you was flaunting your ring in everybody's face? This is what you fought for, so let's see. You fight to keep it. But again, if Mendici wants to be in a relationship with Yandy, he will be. If Yandy wants to be in a relationship with Mendici, he will be. After a while, that whole I held you down when you was locked up, time is going to pass, and that's not going to really mean much of anything or hold too much weight anymore. So hopefully they will get it together. I would love to see them be together if it's meant for them to be together, not for the kids and just to save face, because that's a recipe for disaster. But I personally don't see anything wrong with what Mendici said. I don't. He said, if the shoe was on the other foot, I don't know what I would be able to do. And that's a smart answer. Argue with me in the comments. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes this review for couples therapy, or I keep saying couples therapy, couples retreat episode 2. I'm in so far. I'm in. I want to see what shenanigans and stunts Ray J is going to pull. And I want to see how Yandy and Mendices are going to turn this around. I think they'll be totally fine. Like I said, if they both want to. They have to want the same thing at the end of the day, right? All right, that's enough. I ain't got no more. I'm signing off. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like the video. Share the video if you care. I definitely don't mind. I'm signing off. And as always, until next time, folks, peace.